We're going to devote our energies to sports and gardening, all the cultural pursuits as far as they're concerned. In fact, we're going to put the goons to sleep. Meanwhile, we dig.
Greetings and welcome to the Anadromist. This is Burn Power coming to you on a nice gray morning here in Tbilisi, Georgia. And I've been getting a little nostalgic lately for the life that I used to live in Alaska. Earlier this year, I was going to say last year, but earlier this year, I went back to Alaska during the one time of year where you don't get nostalgic for Alaska, and that is in March, when the weather is going back and forth between a little bit of sun, rain, ice, snow, sleet, and all of that. And it's still pretty dark, getting dark early. So I thought what I would do is share some of the videos that I've put together over the last few years, but these are videos that I took back in Alaska of my life there. And I thought that might be interesting for some of you. What I'm going to do is show you the videos. Some of them are just pastoral. They are quiet nature studies. Some of them have a little bit more joie de vivre about them. But I'll give a little introduction to each one, although many of them have their own introductions, but you'll live with it. Before I do, you know what? I need more subscribers. I'm getting closer to 3,000, and it would be nice to get there before the end of the year. I'm at, I think, 2,700 people or plus, so 300 more if I could find those people out there among you somewhere. And actually, I have a pretty good ratio of watchers to subscribers, which isn't saying much because my numbers are not very big, especially for a video like this. If you're watching this, you're more interested in who I am and my story than you are in the subject matter. And I appreciate that, because there are those people who do get interested in, what did Byrne do in his life? And you're here, and I'm glad for it. So if you're one of those, I could use more backup support, because my life is not easy financially. That's all I'm going to say at this moment. But, think about that. Also, think about this. I do have my book of puppet plays out and available, and you should consider getting one. They're $25, which is too much for the book, but the whole point is that you're supporting the channel. And I've got 30 copies in Europe ready to be sent out, and another 50 in the USA ready to go. Actually, there's only 48 now. So they will all disappear, and that's it. 50 pages, 3 puppet plays, some of which you could put on yourself. I won't stop you. And I think it would be an interesting thing if you're connected with children in any way, or teenagers. This would be very good for them. You'd have to teach them something. Maybe you could even do it as a regular play. It's up to you. Okay, let's go to Alaska. Well, we're going to start this off. Most people, when they think of Alaska, I always get this. It's like, ooh, it's so cold there. How could you live there? Now, I had someone from Maine mention this the other day, and I'm going like, Haines, Alaska is not colder than Maine. Middle of Maine is much colder than Haines, Alaska. Haines, Alaska is on the coast. Yeah, we do get below freezing weather in the winter. We get snow. But it's not colder. It's not like interior Alaska. It's not like the 40 below, which is the same Fahrenheit or Celsius. It's not that kind of weather. It's rather, let's put it to this way. I would often go for hikes in the winter. There was this one place, Battery Point Trail, and I went to this one area, and this was a cold day. It was well below freezing. But when I went out there, it was wonderful wind. The trees were alive with wind. And then I came upon this cairn, pile of rocks, but it looked like a person. So I made a little video called The Sentinel. Let's start with that. Let's start with your cold Alaska. And then we're going to change it up as we go. But we're going to start with winter. So, if that doesn't chill you to the bone, maybe this one will. This is from one of the worst winters we had there. Worst, not in terms of low temperature, but in terms of snowfall. And this one I'm entitling Winter's Breath. And it's just a series of little short videos I took during this one period. It was, I'm trying to remember when this was, maybe 2003 or so, 2004. And it was a cheap little camera, so the image quality isn't super good. But what you will notice is there's some really nice winter stuff in here, including nighttime, and there's a street light, and you can see the wind, the snow blowing everywhere. And then there's another one I like in here in this little series that's me just poking around in the mud room. The mud room is where you take off your shoes and such. And opening the door, and literally the snow is up to the door, up to this high, like making a wall. Fortunately, you always keep your snow shovel in the house so you can get out. But you have to remember that the entrance to the outside is already a meter, 3 feet above the door itself. So that there's like the snow is higher than I am. Let's watch that.
Okay, well here's a mint plant that I'm growing in my back window. It's about 2 feet high, and you'll notice it's kind of gray back there behind the mint plant. And there's a good reason for that. It's because in the last about 15 hours or so, all of the window has been covered up to about 2 feet at the top with snow. So as you can see, you back up and just get window, snow. And then you can also see the back window here is a little covered. Looking outside, there is a ridge right there that goes along down to the outside, down to the swing set. And the swing set, which is about 7 or 8 feet tall, is totally covered in the back end and has got a little room poking out there. Now, the building next door, Blue Tack Lumber Building, which has about a 14-foot canyon between it and my the property where I'm on, you can now ski straight down it. So just a little bit of life in Alaska for you. There's my table outside. There's the building next door. Enjoy. Now it's time to do something really perilous, to open the door to the outside world. I have not been outside yet. Here is the shovel, snow shovel. I'm going to need that, I suspect, because that same snow, this could be very dangerous. It could fall in on me. But fortunately, it is so tall that it's not. So there, looking at the bottom of the door, there's the outline of the door. There, about 3 feet up, you see the outside world. There's a bit of snow, and then up to about 6 feet, the snow goes. So there you go. I'm about as tall as this right here. So, and there's the brisk weather outside. And the car is slightly buried. Fortunately, it's not so buried in back, but it is buried in front. And I had dug that trench out twice yesterday, going over to the house there. Anyway, greetings from Alaska.
And during the fall and the spring, but the fall in particular, you like to get together with friends you haven't seen because usually summer is too busy with work. And so this is just at home. There's a couple different videos put together, but one is at home with a few friends. We're making fondue. And the other one is just images of my library. You might find this interesting.
I forgot one book. Well, I just realized that this one's really short, so you have to go too.
Well, this is it, my library, and this is me sitting in it. And as you can see, there are many, many books, and a lot of stuff you learn from these books. But it's worth learning, even if it causes a lot of pain from learning all this stuff, from having too much knowledge. But what are you going to do? It's either that or die. I'll take the truth. Solzhenitsyn once said, if you see the truth, you'll lose an eye. If you don't, you'll lose both.
This next one, again, another wintry one. I used to work at the radio station. This is why this is probably around 2003, 2004. I used to work at the radio station KHNS, and when I did, I would walk to work. And so this is my morning commute. This is the entire walk to work, which I did this for altogether about 10 years.
Let's go to work with Bern. We're going down this road. As you can see, I have to suffer with a lot on the way to work. It's a bad commute, but someone has to do it. A nice water puddle. Let's continue on to work. Should we go this way, up the trail? Or should we go this way, across the little ledge here? Let's go this way. Here's the old barracks building of the fort. I gotta walk by that every day. And here's the old ruins of the other barracks building that burnt down. There, of course, is Fort Seward. Up there, the first Alaskan military base. part 3. Can we stand this much beauty? I don't know. It's getting kind of tough. One of these pesky morning sunrises, surrounded by all of this. See, mountains over here. Mountains, sunrise. Oh, there's a doll house, but can't have everything. And as you can see, there are mountains way back there too. Not to mention where I've come from. There's a mountain back there, if you can see, Mount Rapinski. So here I am at work at the Chilkat Center. There's another totem pole. We're kind of surrounded by these things up here. You can hear the raven behind us. There's some of the houses I've passed on the way. Mount Rapinski behind us. And, well, shall we go in? So here we are at the station at, now it's first thing in the morning because I'm the first one here. Here's the control booth. And as you can see, we have to suffer with a pretty terrible view out there. But we do what we can. Again, we are doing these things for you, and we hope you appreciate them. Hope these glimpses of life up here make you feel something.
Greatest threat, he says, is that
By the way, you look in there and you'll see all these CD shelves. Most of those I built and filled up in the time I was there with way too many CDs. And it was a wonderful thing to have accomplished. Let's start thinking about other seasons now. Here's one. Let's say it's starting to warm up a bit. Here's some of the local birds, the crows. I had a very interesting relationship with the crows. And they were always great. You could throw some food out, and I've done this in this. I wanted to get some actors in the video, so I threw food out. They would come and do their part. And this is called a murder of crows. Murder of crows is the official word for the group word for a lot of crows, a bunch of crows, but it's really a murder of crows, which I think is great. I have a book called Venery, which has all sorts of these titles of groups of animals. Now, eventually I started working for the Chilkat Guides. I work on the river. I would drive a bus. I would take people up to the Chilkat River, go up to 19 Mile or maybe 21 Mile, or go over to the Circu River and then float down the river. It was a great job. One of the reasons people will often say here, you're in good shape. And one of the reasons I give for why I'm still in good shape, even though I'm closing in on 70 by the end of the year, of this, my fiscal year, July to July, is that one of the things I did was a lot of work, moving buckets of heavy rubber boots around, and benches and food and people and driving and all of this stuff. I think that prevented me from getting a serious case of arthritis like my mother had. Anyway, we would take you up, we would get you life jackets, put rubber boots on you, and then we'd put you in a river and you'd float down. It wasn't heavy duty. In fact, what we'll do here is we'll give you a safety talk, the way that the people going on the tours would get a talk. Most of these people came off cruise ships. We'd get independent people as well. But you're privileged to hear the words of the late Nelbert, Nels Nemi, who was a guide for many, many years. He also was a guide in the Grand Canyon, legendary figure. And this is him giving you the safety talk before you go down the river. Listen to it. He is quite funny.
Has any of you folks been on whitewater rafting? Excellent. This is gray water floating. What you see is what you're going to get. This is a glaciated river. Right here, it joins a clear water stream. This water comes from a glacier. Glaciers, ice, cold, right? Yes. Number one hazard here is cold water. No swimming. To have everybody's attention, we all got that agreement. You go swimming, it's hell for us. Now, the nature of the river is it's got gravel in it. It's shallow. Shallow water is good news for eagles, bad news for salmon. The salmon are coming upriver, they get stuck. Well, pretty much obvious. If a salmon gets stuck, we're going the other way. Guess what? We're probably going to get temporarily detained, is a euphemism we use. When that happens, audience participation, we're going to ask you to do the Chilkat Shuffle. Let's bounce up and down on the rubber baby buggy bumper boat. God, I said I want you to bounce on the tubes. If you do it in unison, it lifts the boat miraculously out of the water and goes to the other channel. That doesn't work. Plan B is the guide will get out. Grunt, groan. You'll hear some words. Okay? We call that a tractor pull. If that doesn't work, you might be a volunteer. Okay? Please, if we ask you to help, listen to what we say, because we know these boots are wonderful. The design defect is right in the top. It's got a hole. Wet feet are unhappy campers. We don't want any unhappy campers. Now, that probably will happen. It's not, if we say get back in the boat, the boat's leaving, okay? And we'll have another trip here about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, always listen to what we say. We know we've been here for how many years? Dozens, right, okay. We also will say a couple other commands. One of them will be bump. That's not too unusual. We'll do some banging into the bank, maybe into a tree. And if we say bump, well, kind of just get ready. When you rode that pony as a kid, you always posted up before you got to the jump. That's because you didn't want to go out of the boat. We will say duck, expletive deleted, duck. That means we're going under a tree. Didn't you tell the kids a stick in the eye is bad, right? So if we say duck, I don't want you in the bottom of this boat. And then be quick. And don't be grabbing the damn tree when we go by, because then you are going swimming. That's bad. All right. So if we say duck, it's because we're going under a tree or a branch usually. And it's no big deal. It happens every once in a while. Now, the other thing I might, in that whitewater business, we had a command called high side. Very, very high pitched. High side, damn it! No, because the boat was going up, and you want to be on the dry side of the boat. We might say that if we have a stump or a log in the river and we go up on it. I've given that command once in 22 years, and I did get wet. Right. Now, swimming. I made the announcement earlier that your ship, the Seven Seas Navigator, has a wonderful swimming pool. The water's probably warm. This is not warm water, so no swimming. If you do go swimming, roll over on your back, look around for eagles, let us know. You know, because you could just kind of float away, and that'd be bad again. But you do not ever swim towards trees. Trees are bad because you'll get stuck under them. So that's pretty much what we got, except one last difficult thing. More problems here than anywhere else. Getting in and out of a rubber baby buggy bumper boat. We do it. Anybody from Texas? I can't believe it. Maybe you're just not. Oh, okay.
I was born in
Okay, you're born in Texas. All right. Well, that's not good enough. If you do the Texas two-step into a raft or a small boat or a canoe, the canoe raft is going to go swinging out in the river. Three things are going to happen. You're going to split your pants. You're going to fall in the water. We've already talked about that. And you're going to look stupid. So we don't want to do that. So sit and spin are the two words you have to learn. You got that? Sit and spin. Sit down on a tube, put one leg in, put the other leg in. 33 live warm bodies?
31 plus 2.
Okay, that means we've got 5 boats. There'll be mostly 6 with 1 7. We had one group of 4 from Chile. Any other groups, large groups?
Yes, 4.
4? Well, that's easy to deal with. Get together with somebody else. Now, I'll introduce myself again, Nelbert. This knucklehead is CP, right? And over here, this young dude who's actually a graduate. Ben is a graduate. Oh, I'm sorry. Sonny, you're number 3, right? Sonny. He's our Rastafarian. And Ben's a graduate of Haines High School. And bringing us up in the back, weighing in at 133 pounds, wrestler is Andrew. Do not arm wrestle him. So we can go down the river, be on the river about an hour and a half, and you get your shoes back. Okay, let's get going.
We had sometimes to fill up a little extra time for one reason or another. So we'd stop along the Haines Highway on the way up to the put-in for the rafts. And we would stop at this thing called a Fishwheel. And a Fishwheel just is this device which goes around and around in the water. It's pushed by the water. And every now and then it would pick up a salmon, and then once a day the fish and game people will come by and count the salmon and gives them an estimate of how many salmon are coming up the river. I have no idea how they do it. In fact, I think CP discusses it. CP is a legendary guide. He discusses the whole thing, and we're waiting to see a fish. Will we see a fish is the big question. It's the big question everybody has. So let's go stop at the fish wheel for a moment.
European officials and bankers struggled today to come up with a second bailout for Greece. Time's running short, a summit to prevent the debt crisis from spreading through.
I'm here to greet you and answer questions.
I think it's crazy. I don't know. I don't have any kids. But the way these things work, now, there's no motor on that thing. How do you think it spins? Take a picture now when you're still.
I did.
Oh,
Thank
perfect.
you. There you go.
And The water, exactly. This water that's coming downriver, you can see, look at this log floating down, that logadile. That's it's turning the wheel, making it turn. Now, what happens is the fish are coming upriver. That's what fish do. They swim upriver, of course. And they get scooped up in that scoop. They get ride like a Ferris wheel. They ride to the top, and they get waterboarded on that piece of board. You see that board there? And they slide down the hill, or slide down the board into that green tube. And then they go down to the bottom, which is a fish hole. You can see the holes in the bottom, right? And water can pass through there with oxygen in it, and the fish are in there. They're just waiting. Now, once a day, the Fish and Game, Department of Fish and Game, you see this boat over here, right here at the front? They get in that boat, and they drive it all the way over to the Fishwheel. And it's a three-man operation. And what they do is they have one guy sit in that little booth, and one guy scoops the fish out of the fish hole, and another guy works the trough. And the trough is what they do is they take scale samples off each fish, they weigh them, they tag them, they sex them, they measure them, and they call all this information out to the guy in the booth, and the guy's writing it down on a Scantron sheet. And they put a tag. Fish! Fish!
That's a peak?
I couldn't tell. I think it was a sockeye. Wow.
Looks sockeye-ish.
Did you get that on video?
Yes, I did. And you talking.
And besides taking people on the Chilkat River, we would sometimes take special tours down other rivers in the area, including the Alaskan and the Tatshenshini. And this next one is, I was driving a bus with people to the Tatshenshini River, and I got everyone out. We watched the rafts float by, and then we drove out. Now, it was raining like crazy, and in front of me is the gear truck. The gear truck holds the rafts themselves, plus all the boots, the safety equipment, the food, everything else. And I'm following behind it. I just realized, I should get my weird little camera out and follow this. So this is just a few minutes going through a crazy scenario of driving. I have a much longer video of coming back from the Alaskan River, which is over on my Gravity from Above channel, if you want to see a longer version. Many of these videos are over there, not all of them, however. So this is more of a cohesive story of my life in Alaska. But let's drive away from the Tatshenshini put-in. take it easy for a minute. Too much excitement, that little salmon at the end. That was a very small salmon. A little salmon, it was, we've had our adventure, weird driving, safety talks. But let's stop and just look at the river. Let's look at some still water. Let's look at Chilkat Lake. Let's watch a few bears, maybe. Are we going to find any bears on this? Later, I worked with taking people on bear tours. I took less videos there because I had to watch people. I didn't have time to be a videographer. But let's bring it down and just rest by the side of the river for a little bit. Are you calm? Are you calm yet? Well, let's continue in that mood for a little while and stop by. I think the bears might be in this one. Were the bears in that one? No, that was just still waters. No, now the bears are coming. The bears are coming. The bears are coming. So are sled dogs. Let's watch a few more Alaskan vignettes, and we'll end this with some faces of people I knew back in Haines, Alaska. Just a little collage, a few minutes of a collage of different people that I knew there. And I present this to you, and thank you for watching.
Yeah, it's not a human trail. Yeah, they're coming right up there.
That's a little fella working hard.
See, this bear is probably our favorite bear. She is so used to people that she will just continue what she does, as long as we don't get in her way. Howdy. On your way south?
Juneau?
I guess that's south. Yeah. So are you all together or no? It's just the end of dog mushing season?
Yeah,
Or are you going to the ice fields?
they're going to the ice fields.
Right.
Just dropping them off.
Oh, they're doing work there, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's like in the summer.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that was I'm gonna run on snow and still run all summer.
Right.
It's a pretty sweet gig. Felix!
Well, people always think sled dogs are like Malamutes or something like that, but it's always these kind of muddy things.
Alaskan Huskies.
Yeah.
We don't call them mutts in front of a musher.
Sorry! You guys look great!
Very well planned out, well thought out.
Right.
They're bred for function, not
Right,
not
exactly.
looks.
Exactly. So, yeah, they're all about the same size. Would you put a bigger, slightly bigger one in front?
Towards the back.
Towards the back?
Yep, they take on the brunt weight of the sled.
Aha.
Bolt here would be a wheel. We call him wheel dog.
Okay.
Dogs that are towards the back. But Bolt is really smart and really in tune to me. So I have a feeling that he'll be able to run in wheel where his strength is useful, but also towards the front because he is so smart and so in tune and he just learns things real quick. But he's very serious, which is something you want for your leaders.
Right. Does he keep the others in shape?
Does he keep the others in shape? How so?
Is he the lead? No.
I don't know. These are only a year and a half old pups,
Okay.
so I haven't tried them up there. Felix, usually a smart little female like her would be in lead. But see how she's like, I'm scared. There's a person there. I don't know. Like she's got these weird tendencies, which is just genetic. They've all been raised exactly the same.
Right.
But she's like, timid of things, not confident. That's not a characteristic you want in your lead dog. You want a dog that's like him. It's just like, I don't care about anything,
Right.
Right, Bolt? He's so handsome. Billy?
Well, they always are transported in these little cases. Is that the best way to do it?
I think that's the best way. They're safe in there. They're not gonna,
They
get
don't-
into an argument or anything with anybody
They're
else.
separate, but it's not big enough for them to rattle around. Is that the thing?
Right, yeah, they can't go flopping around in there.
Right.
Their dog houses are about the same size. But they feel really comfortable and secure in those little boxes.
Right.
It's hot, which is one thing I don't like. I want them to dry out completely because any moisture in there can saturate the air and reduce the oxygen levels.
Right.
So I'm just letting them dry out. I want these guys to stay cool until the last minute before we gotta go.
What time's the ferry?
Ferry's at 8:15, but we gotta be there by 6:45 or so.
Cool.
We got another hour.
Yeah, I remember I usually see them around this time of year. There's like a couple times a year you see them coming and going through here.
Yep, going out to the glaciers.
Yeah.
There's a number of different glaciers. I'm not sure.
I could do that essay.
So there you are. That was not a complete representation of my life in Alaska by any means. I didn't mention the music or the state fair or the puppet shows we used to do, the churches, the yard sales. That was very important. And just the life that goes on there. But this gives you some idea of what life was like in Alaska. And it was a wonderful place to live. Haines, Alaska, if you're looking for one place to go to Alaska, skip the cruise ships, get on a plane, fly to Juneau, take the ferry up to Haines, spend a week there. You have glaciers, mountains, whales, bears, moose, salmon, eagles, 2 lakes, forests, hiking trails, everything you could want in Alaska in one small spot, and a wonderful community. So think about that. Well, this is Byrne living now in Tbilisi, Georgia, and we're not talking the USA, we're talking somewhere on the edge of Europe and Asia. People debate, people who've never been here will say, oh, that's Asia. But people who've been here go like, no, that's Europe. And the Georgians say, oh, we're Europe. And they want to join the European Union. But that's another issue. I'm not going into it. I do have a video somewhere. I will have a video somewhere that discusses some of that. Well, but as they say here, droibit, which means we'll just be gone from each other a little while, then we will meet again. Nachwamdis.
A people without history is not redeemed from time. For history is a pattern of timeless moments.
than you know! Prepare yourself! Prepare